welcome back to the channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Priti. I post regular content based on travel, photography and gadgets basically. If this is the sort of content that you'd love to be notified about, please do hit the little bell icon because it helps us smaller YouTubers, and also hit the subscribe button too. Can you guys believe it's October the 3rd? How crazy is that? If you're anything like me, you'll be super excited about Halloween and just all of things autumn, which I'm super excited about. And it's that time of the year where you just think, oh my god, have I hit my goals for the year? Anyway, today I'm going to be doing a short review on the Apple Watch. So this is something that I've been wanting to buy for a while. One of the things that kept putting me off, or in fact there was two things. The first thing was the price of it, because I thought, can I justify spending this much on a watch? And the second thing was I just did not know if I would use it to the fullest. So back in July, it was my birthday, and actually I was gifted the Apple Watch Series 3. So that kind of made the decision for me in terms of, sorry guys, I'm trying to get this back to its main screen, in terms of should I buy the watch or should I not, since it was gifted. So that was nice. The one that I ended up with is this one here, which is the rose gold version of it. It is the 42mm version. I actually have a case on this. It's like a clip-on case which you basically covers the actual head there, and it's got the Velcro type of strap on there. So yeah, so that's customizable, which is always great. So I've had it for, well, since July, so August, September, coming up to 3 months, and I thought I'd do a short review on it. I didn't want to do a unbox because what's the point in that? So 3 months on, do I think, is it worth it? So in terms of the interface, if you guys are familiar with Apple products, it looks very similar, if not the same as your iPhone or your Mac or your iPad, which is always cool. That's one of the things that I do love about Apple. Everything just looks consistent and it works very similar too. This is the LTE version. So the LTE version just means that there's an eSIM activation thing on here, which means that if you're with a carrier that supports the Apple Watch, you can basically use your watch to accept calls and text messages and do like surfing on the internet, things like Twitter, without having your phone next to you. Although I have the LTE version, the carrier that I'm with here in the UK don't actually support the Apple Watch yet, so I'm hoping in the future that they will activate it, and so that's what made me get this one. The original one that I was gifted didn't have the LTE version, so I just paid the difference and upgraded it. I don't plan to upgrade this for a few years. It's my first Apple Watch and I thought I'll just future-proof myself. So yeah, if you do go for the LTE version, just make sure that your carrier actually supports the Apple Watch. So my first impressions, I really loved it. In terms of some of the apps that I'm using, so although, rewind a little bit, although this is the LTE version and I don't have LTE, over Bluetooth and wireless, if it's connected to your phone and it's on the same network, you can still accept calls and text messages and use your mobile phone data to check things like email and Twitter or anything else that you might be using. So in terms of, in that sense, it's not like you can't make calls and texts. The Apple Watch is definitely made to run alongside your iPhone as opposed to a standalone device. Even with the LTE version, it's still linked to your mobile phone number, so you can't just have it as an individual mobile phone number, if that makes sense. So yeah, so in terms of some of the apps that I've been finding super useful on the watch, the phone call option is really amazing. It's quite neat when you're driving, for example, or even if you're out walking the dog, something like that. If you've got your phone in your handbag or your backpack, whatever, you can just use your wrist, the watch on your wrist, to make a quick phone call. Obviously if you've got earphones in as well, you can definitely use that, so it saves having to take your phone out. Text messages is a great one as well. It's great to be able to just get notified even if you don't necessarily reply right away. Now with the text message interface, this is what it looks like. Hopefully that's clear for you guys. I'm shooting on the GoPro. So the interface is really nice. When you go into the text message and you scroll down and you want to reply to someone, these are the different options that you have. So although there's not like an on-screen QWERTY keyboard, anything like that, because obviously the size of it, you can literally just reply. You basically finger the letters that you're trying to put in, and it basically types. It's just a different way of typing on there. You still have the emoji options as well, which I'm just going to try and go back onto that. You've got the emoji icon there, and of course if you didn't want to use any of those options, you've still got the option to audio clip, which is handy. So yeah, I do like the text messaging app on there. I'm just going to go back to the home screen. The home screen looks like that, which I showed you guys. Very simple. The email function is pretty neat as well. Again, it does load up all the text and so forth, so again it's a great way to just check your email without having to pull your phone out and go to that extent. One of the things that I really like and what I found is that it's reduced the time that I'm spending on my phone. So if I'm downstairs, for example, if I do have my watch on and my phone's upstairs, I don't feel the need to like go upstairs and grab my phone and play around with it on social media or what have you. I find that it kind of reduces that time, which I think is quite neat. For those of you guys who may be using your music services, so there are third-party apps available, obviously on the App Store specifically for Watch. I actually use Spotify. I'm not a paying subscriber of Apple Music. It's something that I may consider in the future. There are apps available that control Spotify, maybe not to the fullest extent that I would like. So Apple Music is definitely easier to obviously control, as it has the Apple app on there, the Apple Music app on there pre-installed. One of the other things that I really like is the activity monitor. So it's basically rings, it's like a ring app, which I'm trying to load. I'm just going to grab my phone to show you guys as well, because it was on charge. So this activity app, which runs on your watch, obviously monitors your activity. You've got it. So it basically monitors your daily sort of activity, and it breaks it down into 3 different sort of categories. You've got the movement category, the exercise category, and the stand category. It looks like that on your phone. I just think it's easier to look on your phone because obviously the screen's bigger. So yeah, so it categorises it into 3 different things, and actually the stand one and exercise option, it pings, it actually lets you know that you should be doing more during the day. So that I find has really helped my movement during the day. If for example I'm working from home and I'm sat at the laptop and I'm not moving as much, it'll go off and I'm like, oh yeah, I should get up, go grab a glass of water, something like that. So it has got me moving a lot more, which is nice. The other app that I find really useful on this is the Breathe app. Just going to load it up for you guys. So it looks like this. And basically, it's almost like a daily meditation, mini meditation session during the day. It lasts for a minute, and it just reminds you to come back to yourself and breathe for a minute straight, which I think is great if you're in a stressed out environment or even work situations, or you're just sidetracked with work. Really reminds you to come back to yourself and just refocus and regain some of that focus. And you can do that as many times a day as you want. So I really love that, because I find sometimes with meditation I can lose track of those things just daily, as much as I try and stick to it. Obviously you've got the heart rate monitor as well, which is actually on the back of the watch here. It's something that I don't find it super useful, just because it's not something I've ever used in the past. I do like to monitor it. It's got me thinking a bit more about that element of my health. So yeah, it is quite handy. I've not had the opportunity to re-download some of the third-party apps that I had on here. I do have a Twitter app, which is really neat, and where's my phone gone? The name of that one, I'll get it for you guys. So the interface is really neat. It's called Chirp. That's the sort of best Twitter app that I've found for it so far. And there isn't a whole load of different apps on the watch from what I can gather, but again it depends on your usage and how you're going to use your watch really. You've got your normal sort of apps, you've got your clock or your alarm clock, you've got your trades, your stocks and shares app, weather app, you've also got maps as well. Maps is pretty neat, so if you're driving for example it will buzz to let you know if you're going left or right. It can get annoying sometimes but you can turn the notifications off, it's not a problem. Another update that's just come to the watch, which I've not tried yet, is a podcast. I really love my podcast, it's something that I have on in my car through the iPhone, so looking forward to giving that a whirl and see how that runs. Overall, I think the watch, oh, let me show you one more thing. So, as I said before, is that it does run alongside your phone as opposed to being a standalone device. So on your phone, you've got the watch app, which is just there. When you go into the watch, so when you first set up the phone, it'll basically say scan the watch face on. Dead easy to set up. The software updates, for example, is done through your phone, so you have to download it there and then leave this on charge, and it will pair up and then it will basically download. It did take about an hour the other day when I upgraded to the new one, but it does the job. You've got a lot of different ways to personalise it as well. So things like the face gallery, for example, there's quite a lot of different options in there. You've got like the Mickey Mouse ones, you've got like this scientific astronomy one. The one that I just downloaded the other day is the breathe one, which actually, even when I look at it, it just makes me dead relaxed and super zen, which sounds really weird, but I really do love that. I think it helps. Yeah, so there are different ways of like personalising it. And again, the app store for your watch is through your phone. Even now, if I have a quick look whilst you guys are on video, you've got like the Bear app, which is a writing and note taking, which is quite a decent one that I have on my iPhone actually. You've got the Night Plus Run Club, Night Training Club, the Calm app, which is meditation. You got yoga. These are like quite new updates with the latest software update. You've got City Mapper. You've got golfing apps, strength, more workouts. So I think with the latest update, there's a lot more that can be done with your watch, which is pretty decent. Overall, I feel like it's definitely worth the money if it's something that you're going to have with you every day. Especially if you're with a provider that has the LTE support for the Apple Watch. The battery lasts, so because I'm not using the LTE function, I find that if it's on Bluetooth and Wi-Fi to my phone and I'm using the sort of, phone calls, text messages and data, I can maybe get like a day out of this, so it does need charging. Whereas if I don't bother connecting it to my phone for calls and texts, I'm getting a good few days, so maybe 2 to 3 days out of it, which is not too bad. It doesn't take too long to charge either, maybe about half an hour for a full charge, not even that. So in the morning, if I forgot to put it to charge the night before, I can literally just throw it on charge, jump in the shower, and it'll be pretty much ready to go by the time that I'm out. So yeah, overall I do think that it's a decent piece of kit. As more support becomes available for it in terms of apps, I think it's really gonna take it to the next level. And there's a lot of potential for it, especially as there's more watches on the market. I've not had a play around with any of the watches, so I can only go from this one. But there's definitely a lot of potential for it. And going forward, I'm looking forward to see what else comes to the Apple Watch. If you guys have got any questions about the Apple Watch, do let me know and comment below and I'll get back to you. I'm going to wrap that up here, and I'm going to pop that down. I hope you're all doing really well. Thanks to those of you guys who have been with me for a little while now, and for any new subscribers, I really appreciate the support. So if you are looking for sort of videos based on travel, photography and gadgets or technology, hit the subscribe button and I will be back soon with a new video. Bye for now.